Welcome to Sailing Avanti. We are Gerard and Jacqueline, sailing our 41-foot monohull Avanti around the world from Cape Town, South Africa.
Last week we sailed to Ronde Island, that's found between Carriacou, where we stayed for 2 months, and Grenada, the last island we will visit in the West Indies.
We arrived at Ronde Island on the Friday evening, and we decided we're just going to stay one night and leave the Saturday morning after a quick snorkel due to some bad weather coming in on the Sunday.
Ready.
Ronde Island forms part of Grenada and is only 8.1 square kilometers. It's a private island and it was listed for sale in October 2007 for $100 million. This made it the most expensive listed island property in the world. There is a few inhabitants on the island that still remains as a small community. We dove into the water and immediately saw some stingrays on the ocean bed. This one looks like it's having breakfast with a lot of blaashoppies or pufferfish hovering around to see if they can catch some leftovers.
We were told that there was a small reef to snorkel in the northern side of the bay, but with the bay so large, we unfortunately didn't find it. Not one of our best snorkeling spots to date. It was time to leave the small island of Ronde for Grenada. Grenada is normally one of the first Caribbean stops for South African sailors crossing the Atlantic, but since we planned to be here in the hurricane season, we sailed right past it in February 2022 to Union Island, where we ended our Atlantic crossing.
Grenada, here we come. We're sailing from Ronde Island towards Brickley Bay, which is on the southeast coast of Grenada, so it's about 27 nautical miles. So we're rounding the island on the eastern side. So hopefully we turn a little bit away from the wind in about an hour, but at the moment we are beating a little bit. As we left Ronde Island, we had the island on our port side. We thought this would be a good chance to give you an explanation of where port and starboard comes from. As you know, starboard means the right side of the boat, and port the left side of the boat. The starboard term comes from the Old English term that was pronounced something like steerboard, or there's a Dutch term that also calls it steerboard. Steerboard means the side that the boat was steered on. Older ships didn't have a rudder that was in the center position, but it had a steering oar on the right-hand side at the stern of the boat, hence the term starboard for the right-hand side. Because of this oar that sat on the right-hand side of the boat and that was exposed when the boat is docked, the boat always docked with the port on the left-hand side, hence the term port side for the left side of the boat. We are just about 2 hours from Prickly Bay, rounding Grenada on the eastern side, and we've got a pretty strong current behind us. We're doing about 5.5 boat speed or 6 knots, gently cruising, rolling a little bit, but we touching 8 knots speed over ground. So we have probably a 2.5 current knot behind us. Luckily not on the bow this time, so we are really making good speed over ground.
We had our fishing gear out as normal and we had a strike, but unfortunately he got away. Grenada has plenty of options when choosing a marina, mooring, anchorage or haul-out facility. The closest marina and mooring field to the main town would be Port Louis Marina in St. George's, on the southern western side of the island. No anchoring is allowed here anymore, and at the moment it's the only place to clear in and out. The rest of the bays are all in the south. Calvigny Cut is known for its cleaner waters. It's also close to La Fleur Bleue Marina that has a pool and some activities for kids. Woburn is probably the most popular, but has limited access to public buses, and some people have complained about the water quality. There are plenty of cruises though, and a few activities. Secret Harbour is more remote, but had some of the nicest facilities we've seen. In the end, we chose Prickly Bay. Since we're almost always on the move, bus routes are extremely important to us, and can be seen here on a green line. They run very efficiently. Prickly Bay also has a South African shop that sells biltong, fudge, and even rusks.
We just arrived in Grenada, so new island, so very excited. We're in Prickly Bay and we just took the dinghy to shore, so we'll see how it looks over here. In search for the first beer.
Not a far walk from the marina, we find the West Indies Brewing Company. With so many craft beers to choose from, I wonder if this wasn't the reason why Gerard chose Prickly Bay.
We are at the West Indies Brewing Company today, and we're tasting one of their flagship beers. It's a Windward, called a Windward IPA. You can see it, nice and clear. Really good tasting IPA. You don't find a lot of them in the Caribbean, so it's not as good as the Hurricane Reef, I think, for me. So I would probably score this one an 8 out of 10. And it is, for this size at the brewery, you pay 10 EC, but you can also buy much bigger bottles, so the size is pretty good and it's really refreshing.
New island, old problems. Our outboard is giving us problems again.
Round 2. It feels like deja vu. But I think the engine is actually not being too badly behaved. Well, I suspect the carburetor is clogged again, now, and obviously just when I took it off and put it on the deck, it started. But yeah, I've got it off now, so I'm checking out how the carburetor jets are looking. As soon as we get the outboard running again, we jump on the dinghy and head to shore. It's been quite a while since we've been on such a big island, with shops and almost anything we need. Even though it's a Sunday and cruisers told us almost nothing will be open, we still head to town to see what it looks like. We've heard that the public buses are quite affordable, and we jump on one as soon as we get a chance. They're only $2.50 EC per person, and they take you pretty much anywhere on the island.
On our way to Spiceland Mall, our first mall in 4 months. I need a hair tie. I've been tying my hair up with a bungee cord because I lost my tie quite a while ago. We're wearing clean clothes, just freshly washed. We've had a quick shower. You have to be clean for a mall, don't you? It's gonna be weird. Georges is loved by tourists, and cruise ships bring many of them annually. But the island is also known for its crops. The most important is nutmeg, but they also have cacao, maize, cloves, vanilla, cinnamon and ginger, and they have the tropical weather to thank for that. Today we are having something called doubles. It's actually a traditional Trinidad breakfast, which consists of 2 barra breads and a spicy chickpea, kind of like stew on top of the 2 pitas. So we're going to have that for lunch rather. Making the pizzas, I have to get up way too early for that to be breakfast. Traditionally served with a mango chutney and some chopped cucumber, you can find this street food all over Grenada. So traditionally the recipe has a barra bread, which is a bread similar to this, pizza style, but it has turmeric and cumin in, and you're supposed to fry it in oil. But because we're having so much beers these days, we've skipped the frying part and we're just making pizzas in a hot pan, like I normally do when we have pizzas.
1%.
And there you have your barra. Thank you for joining us this week. Remember to give us a like if you enjoyed the video, leave us a comment with your favorite bits, or subscribe to know when the next video will become live. Thank you very much to our Patreon team. If you want to join them, you can simply click on the description below and follow the link to Patreon itself. You'll definitely not want to miss next week's episode as we hike Grenada.